and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, consideration of any changes or additions to the agenda. I know we have one addition down under the new business. At the bottom, it's the interview process we did for the admin position for Caitlin's replacement. We'll discuss who we interviewed and who's going to be offered a position. Is there any others? Okay, approval of January 6th, 14th, and 27th minutes. Is there a motion?
I make the motion that we approve the January 6th, the January 14th, and the January 27th minutes as written.
I'll second it. The ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on to reports. Highway and transfer station update. Clinton?
Regional Planning Commission, or state said that we could hire the Regional Planning Commission to do our MRGP stormwater assessment. We can either pay them direct or we can work with them. They have a name for it. Forced payable.
Force account.
Yeah. So I'd like to put in for that. The state's offering $29,340. So we'd have to pay 20% of that. So and that would get us up to date to 2027, I believe.
Okay.
So all I need is just the okay to fill it out and send it to the state, and they'll, if they accept it, which there's a good chance that they will, that we can get that.
Okay.
So, we had one truck break down during Friday's storm. Blew a hydraulic line. It took us almost 3 hours to find a hose to get it and then put it back together. And then Sunday, another truck blew a hydraulic line. I called around, and of course it happens on a Sunday. I called Allied Auto, and they were getting ready to close, and luckily they stayed open for us to go up and get a hose and get the truck back going. But meanwhile, I took it upon myself and ordered dies and fittings and hose so that we can do our own.
Well, we have the machine, right?
We have the machine, so it just, and they were both the same size fittings and same size hose, so we'll be able to hopefully not waste 3 hours again, 4 hours. But other than that, blocking away.
As a transfer station.
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I haven't had time to
You guys, and again, I know you've
think
been
about it.
very busy with all these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-inch storms every few days. Kudos to the town crew for all the effort of keeping the roads clear for travel. So.
I don't know if we want to think about I don't know, we'll play it by the weather for Sunday. I don't know how we're gonna be able to keep the transfer station cleared to
Mhm.
safely be open on Sunday, but
Right.
we'll see.
Well, we could put it out there now to close it now so that there won't be any traffic. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it, and we can hit the news flash with it. So that would take care of that.
Because, you know, they're predicting for pretty heavy snowfalls. I
Yeah.
think they're saying up to 14 to 15 inches now with the nor'easter. So
Saturday night.
starting Saturday night through Sunday.
Wow.
You know, Saturday they're claiming for up to 6 inches of snow.
It's a good idea to put a sign
So-
up there Saturday.
I'm
Saturday.
I'm not opposed to closing the dump for this Sunday. So
I think that would work. That'd be safe. Be
let's-
safer for everybody involved.
let's make sure we get it out there due to the storm and the weather conditions for the snowfall on Sunday. The dump will only be opened on Saturday. I think that's being safe for the town crew plowing the roads and, you know, the dump attendants.
Regular
Yeah.
hours on
On
Saturday,
Saturday.
or do you wanna add an hour?
I'm not opposed to stretching it an hour.
When does the storm supposed to start?
They're saying late Saturday,
Late Saturday, I think
late
it is.
Saturday,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm not opposed to opening the dump an extra hour on Saturday.
Well, that depends on our attendance if they
If
want
they
to do
can.
that.
If they
We'd
can.
offer it to them.
We can offer them to stay open another hour or early an hour, so
Okay.
we'll offer it
I
to them.
will find out tomorrow and
Okay,
I'll let you know.
Then
okay,
we
for
can-
now, we'll just post it's closed Sunday.
Yep, then we can
On
communicate
the
that out.
newsflash.
Yep. Any questions for the highway or transfer? Okay, town treasurer's update, Liz?
So, start, FEMA for the month of January, so we did receive the additional 15% of our federal share. It had gone from 75 up to 90, and any of our prior projects that had been paid out have now also been paid out that additional 15%, which was just shy of $100,000. So that has come in. We did also receive our funds from the last state stormwater the project grant and aid that was completed this late summer. And then we also, for the last meeting, regular meeting in January, I did accept the cost estimate for the Beaver Meadow project, and you'll see that now it's officially obligated through FEMA, so it's recognized on the balance sheet here. There's a large receivable of about $460 towards the bottom of your first page there. So that money, 90% of that money will be coming probably within the next few weeks. The state sent me the form, there's a form to sign off to get payment. They won't release it in full due to the size, so we're getting 90% of our 90%.
Next month, did you say?
It'll be within this month, the month of February. They're usually pretty quick once they send the form to sign for release of payment.
Okay.
So that cash will be coming, and we don't officially have to put it in create a separate reserve fund, but I will put it aside into a sub account just so you'll be able to see it when it's there, because we definitely need, we got the cash because
Yeah.
we're gonna need it for that project, so it will be segregated, and you'll see it when it arrives. And also this month, just a note for people who do look closely at our balance sheet, we did start doing some withholding for healthcare, so there's a little change that you might see on our balance sheet just related to the town employees' healthcare. And moving forward into the profit and loss statement, again, really the big activity, there's that account receivable for FEMA on the balance sheet. The income is now reflected on the income statement. Everything else for the month is, there's been a ton of hours for the highway crew, a lot of overtime keeping up with all the storms. But we really, this time of year, we're just kind of plugging along in most other areas. And you'll see, Bobby mentioned a couple truck breakdowns, but those will show up on next month's report, I expect, so.
Our delinquent taxes are doing well.
Yeah, and we'll get, I know Pete collected more in the month of January. I don't have the details from him yet, but continue to plug away at that, which is great. And not on the actual numbers, but I do have a few individuals who have expressed interest in the assistant treasurer role, so I'm working on talking to people and figuring out what that might look like going forward. For now, a big thank you to our assistant treasurer emeritus, is that okay? David, who's holding down the fort on the day-to-day payroll and things, so. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Good, any questions on the treasurer's update? Thank you, Liz. Okay. Listers report, David. Thank you, David.
We had two things we'd like you to sign. We spoke about it last meeting that we have no appeals pending, because we have no appeals. After you sign it, gets filed in the permanent grand list. And the other is the annual MAC maintenance contract. And that came, so get that signed, taken care of. Same price as it was last year, and the same price for next year.
Very good. Any questions for David? No, you don't want any? Thank you, David. Okay. Conservation Commission update.
The last few meetings, we've been focusing on Star Lake and what are the possibilities there. In the fall, we had met with an official from the state who encouraged us to apply for permits to enlarge the bottom barrier so there'd be fewer weeds near the swimming area, and also get a permit to run a mechanical harvester to make some paths through the weeds, not to clear the whole center of the lake, but at least clear some areas so you could kayak from, across from one end to the other in a couple of different directions. So we're working on applying for that permit. We assume it'll be mostly volunteer work. If there's a cost, we won't jump the gun. After we get the permit, then if there's a cost, then we'll come to you to ask about that.
Okay.
Also, we'd like to apply for a grant from the AARP, the Association of Retired People, for a playground, some playground equipment at Star Lake. There's an early deadline. We have to apply by the first week of March. But I think our intention would be to apply for the grant. If we get it, then have a public hearing saying, all right, what should we do with it? What kind of playground, what equipment should we add? And then come to you for formal approval at that time, if you don't have any objection now. I mean, applying for the grant doesn't commit us to anything. Right?
I don't have any objection.
Now, what's the max amount asked?
It's a maximum would be $25,000 grant, so it's a good one if we can get it. And I have no idea, no idea what the chances are.
Right.
Is it adult playground?
Yeah.
No, so grandparents take their kids, we might do a bocce court as part of that.
Is there any percentage kick in?
No,
Okay, so it's 100% grant.
100%.
Okay. I have no problems with it.
Yeah, I say apply. I'm good with applying.
I'm sorry.
I'm good with applying.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, you never know.
Exactly, keep going.
Any questions, comments for the conservation group?
Our taxes are going up. Please keep that in mind.
Yeah, right.
The grant was because.
Right. The grant would pay for itself.
Yeah, there's no cost to the town with the grant.
Right, and if we think it would cost something to clear the weeds, then, we'll have to come to you, of course, to ask for it. But again, we're hopeful that we'll at least either have all or mostly volunteer work.
Yeah, I don't think there's any budgeted money.
Is it possible to do a GoFundMe page?
To do what?
A GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe page?
It's fundraising.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our view is we'd worry about that if after we get the permit. And I think people are skeptical about getting the state allowing us to do anything.
Right.
And nobody's gonna give us money
And,
before we have permission to do it.
I know we already did the budget.
Mhm.
And, it was a pretty tough budget because of the cost of everything going up. There's probably no funding in there to something that's extravagant, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to new business. Town Highway Grant Program Document Fiscal Year 26, CY 25.
I think it's just the annual
Yeah,
paperwork that we have to do if we want to apply for a grant. Typically we apply for a paving grant,
Yep.
sometimes for a structures grant, but we're currently working through last year's structures grant, starting on Sawyer Hill Road. So I don't think we don't want to apply for a structures one just because of cost.
right.
Culvert fund only has so much.
Has only so much money. Yes, it does.
Emergency grants, I don't think we have any emergencies, so I think just
Just paving
Horton
grant.
Hortonville
Hill.
Road.
Just paving grant for Horton.
Yeah, and I looked up what I applied for last year, and it was it was basically like round numbers 300. We
Yep.
would use our paving budget
Yep.
plus the grant, so I can
Yep.
put that paperwork together.
Yep, so just to go after the paving grant.
And that would be from Shun Pike to the town line or
Yeah.
by the power lines, just
Right.
past the intersection.
It's a little over a mile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5,500.
Yeah.
Then the next one is just the compliance certificate, which I think we all sign.
Yeah.
We just got to certify the mileage,
We've done that already.
so that's good.
Yep, and we've done the contact form already as well.
Yep.
Maybe that AFP probably, I think. AFP statement, annual financial
Yeah, we do
plan.
still need to do that annual financial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ours.
And then the other forms that are listed there on that email are,
Okay.
if we got a grant, they're just grant forms. We already took care of the contact form. I think the marking letter is more just if we wanna hold off, we just correspond with the district about pavement markings.
Oh,
If we
yeah.
want a
Yeah.
specific time for them to come. That's it. Pretty cut and dry, same thing annually.
Okay, then, any questions? Okay, moving on, required annual open meeting law training.
That is unfortunately for you, Mark.
Yes, I know.
Select board chairs have to take this
Yep.
meeting, or this training.
all online,
It's
isn't
all
it?
online. I'll send you the link.
Please.
And I believe, I should double check this, but I believe you have the year to do it. It has to be
Yeah.
done once each year.
Yep.
But I'll confirm the deadline.
Yeah, not a problem.
Did we skip past the SAM renewal?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I think we did the SAM renewal.
No, we did the
Oh,
one
I can
above.
give you the update there. Our SAM has been renewed.
Did you get an answer to that question you had today?
No, I actually, so there's two pieces. There's our SAM number, which allows us to get federal contracts and grants, and actually state data as well. That's been renewed. I figured out how to file for a name change, which has been actually like a weird glitch in the system for years, where we were indicated as an entity called Town of Mount Holly Town Hall for a reason I could not figure out. I was able to provide enough documentation. Last year I tried and I couldn't find enough to prove that we were not called Town of Mount Holly Town Hall. We now have sufficient utility bills and stuff to be able to prove that. So all that went through. The registration was essentially the same as last year. There was nothing major changes in number of employees, etc. Then there's a cage number, which my understanding is this right, Jeff, that is specific to like military.
I think a cage number is more like, I don't know.
Okay.
There's a NAICS number in the cage number, yeah.
Okay. So every year they ask, so basically that entity, which is slightly different, is asking for us to prove again that our name is Town of Mount Holly Town Hall. Or not Town of Mount Holly Town Hall, it is Town of Mount Holly. And the question I had for you guys both was, basically it says you need to prove this in this way if you have an open federal contract. And I didn't know if the FEMA funding counts as an open federal contract. Okay,
It's not a no.
it's not a contract, but it is
It's a grant, but it's not
okay. So I think then all we need to do is submit those utility bills again. They ask for a bunch of other things that we can't provide, like we don't have town articles of incorporation that have,
we don't have our.
we're not a business, so they're not really they ask for things that municipalities can't provide. So last year they asked for the same thing, we basically told them that, and then we never heard from them again. So
But we have the
we'll-
SAM number was the critical one, and then for the grant.
Sam is the critical one, that's done, and I will just do my best on the
To try to
cage.
yeah,
And-
yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Yes, Dennis.
Comment with the open meeting law training. There's lots of other groups in town besides the select board, the school board, and the planning commission. It wouldn't hurt to put the information out so people know how to access it and stuff.
Okay, sure,
We can put it on the
can put it in the news
flash and the website.
Thank you.
Chit chat.
Chit chat, yep. Okay, moving on to the added line item for the admin position that we interviewed 2 individuals for. We went through the interviews last week on the 7th. 2 great candidates, 2 positive candidates. After going through the interviews and the resumes, we come to the conclusion that we were going to offer William Knott the position for the admin position that we have. So if we can draft up a letter for him, an offer letter, and we can
Do we need a
move
motion?
forward. Yeah, I'm gonna ask for the motion. So I'll make the motion to send an offer letter to William Knott for the position of admin clerk. Is there a second?
A second.
The ayes?
Aye.
We interviewed, again, just the 2 candidates that had applied for it, so.
Would you I think it would be useful if the person could start with a few limited hours to do some training.
Correct.
So would you like me to offer, what's today, the 11th, maybe the 17th? And then what I do.
You'll have to come in and fill the paperwork and stuff.
The 18th.
Or the 18th.
Yes.
18th.
Yeah, the
The
18th.
Yep, you'll have to come in and fill some
Do the
paperwork, if,
paperwork.
providing he
If
accepts.
he accepts.
Yes, yep, I'm
Okay.
okay with that.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there'd be probably like some limited hours to like shadow me for those couple
Absolutely.
of weeks,
Yep.
and then we'll.
Yep, we had made that
Okay.
known that they're gonna have to shadow you for a bit to have an understanding
Okay.
of exactly what you do and how you handle it.
Okay. All right, that
And we
sounds
have room in the, we've got more than enough room in the,
Plenty of spaces.
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
budget, so don't worry
Yeah.
about training, more
Okay.
training the better, so.
Okay, so it's a
So-
seamless transition.
Yes.
Don't
I'm
worry
also
about it.
happy, like, even though my official last day
Mhm.
will be the 11th, if there are like incidental times where he needs, or there's some things that come up like once a year.
Yep.
That even if I train him on it now, he might not do for 11 months.
Correct.
And so I'm happy to be available for that as
No,
it
that would be
goes forward.
absolutely awesome.
Okay,
And thank you again.
of course.
Any questions? Concerns? Okay. Moving on. Old business, sign, revised purchasing policy.
So this is just the additions that you guys
Mhm.
had suggested last time. The, standard would be the, whatever I put in there, $1 million per occurrence coverage minimum and 2 million in aggregate. That's just like the standard.
Yep.
And then it also does say that it's at your discretion. So if there was a specific contract that you, or vendor that you needed to have more coverage, or
Less
you
coverage,
said it's
yeah.
okay to have less, or to waive the requirement for coverage, that's in there that's
Yep.
ultimately at the board's discretion. And I changed the date, those are the only two changes.
Is on the second section, that's the amount that was in there, the $1,000 has been in there.
That was in there, that was.
I wonder if we just,
Change that?
yeah, that, just to kind of correct for,
Inflation.
yeah.
Oh,
So that
yeah.
we're not having to make decisions on,
Sure.
I don't know what a reasonable increase would be, but
$5 grand.
I was thinking like
I was
2,500.
thinking 25 myself.
25 or 3.
25 or what?
3,000.
3,000 and
I'm fine.
Just split the difference between 1 and 5.
that way we're not hampering somebody from.
Yep, so we'll make that changes.
So what I can do is I'll make that change now, and then you guys can still sign it tonight,
Yep.
so it's.
So I'll make a motion to accept the purchasing
with that.
policy with the change from 1,000 to 3,000 as written. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
$100 goes with 800 and 2 pails of oil, 1,000.
Oh, trust me. I know. I know. It does not. So any questions on the purchasing policy? Okay, moving on. Line item 8, citizens' comments, concerns. I do have a letter from Linda and Lester Lampert.
Yes.
So if you wanna talk
Okay.
for the letter, please.
Do I need to reiterate, or would you like us to reread?
If you wanna go through it and
Okay.
And when you stand, please state your name for the minutes.
Okay, Linda Lampert. We're here to revisit, the, situation with the town highway on Howland Farm Road. And, I can just read it.
Mhm.
You wrote us a letter on November 15th regarding the town road and the tree in question. It's a very large ash tree, which we had thought sits on the town right of way. But there seem to be discrepancies involved. We did research with the ANR maps, indicating that different maps show varying information as to the extent of Howland Farm Road and where it technically ends. We also have on hand images from V-Trans, AOT, e911vermont.gov, and the Land Survey Library showing Hallam Farm Road extending to the northern front of our property boundary. That is at the juncture of Hallam Farm Road, 440 and 456. Maps from the original subdivision of North Tree, which we have on hand, and a later re-subdivision dated 1993 by Harry and Nancy Carr, also show the town road up through our northern property boundary, dividing the Lambert parcel from the one marked Carr, which we would also like to share with you. So I'd just like to add to what I wrote here, to assume responsibility of cutting the tree ourselves would involve substantial cost to us and dangerous risk involved. If Lester, right here, and he has expressed the number of times that he would like to do it himself. He would like to climb the ladder and cut the large limbs that are looming over. One is facing our house, and the other one is facing the road. But I really don't want him to do it because he's an elderly man and he has some issues with equilibrium. So we are once again appealing to the town to do it, because leaving the tree as is, half dead with large limbs, would involve a danger also to anyone who may be walking the road at any given unforeseen time. We have a neighbor, a disabled veteran, who walks the road 3 to 4 times a day with his dog. So it's not just a hazard to our property, it's to whomever may be walking along the road. I'd also like to point out that years back, there was a select board member, and I think her name was Linda Nexon. I don't know if anyone. Okay, she had come up and she pointed out that the road was extended by Jeff Teeter, and we were witnessing it at the time. It involved the use of town equipment and town machinery, and she pointed out that it's been extended now, and the boundary is actually at the northern end, at the juncture of 440 and 456. That's what she said. I don't know if it's documented anywhere, but again, I do have some images on my computer, which I'd like to share, but I need a place to place it down so I could show you. And also a couple of maps which we printed out. I couldn't print out everything because my computer would not allow for that. It would not show up.
Can you show us the maps that you do have?
Sure.
We basically want you to look at them and examine them yourselves. We know you can't do it all tonight, it's just, we understand that.
Or
So we
if
can
you
put
can-
this off for another 30 days on the next general meeting.
So if you could email them to Caitlin, to the select board, then Caitlin can email it out to us.
Or paper copies.
Or paper copies.
Okay, I do
Either way.
have some paper copies here, but that doesn't explain it all, okay? So,
Instead of cutting down the whole tree, if we can just get those 2 limbs cut, okay? Because it's a big project to cut that, that's a big tree.
it's a
Okay.
huge tree.
And the salt from the roads help deteriorate it, and we have to deal with it. Yes, she's right that I would like to climb the ladder as an old man, and I've done it before. But she's afraid for me, and I'm gonna have to follow her wishes, okay?
Well, you know,
For peace in my house.
it's dangerous, just look at it. But I have these, but I think I need to explain.
No, bring it on up.
Okay. By the way, thank you for inviting us to come. This is the original subdivision, which is, right here, and this is our parcel. Okay, right here. And, you have the updated one, the re-subdivision by Harry and Nancy Carr. And I'd just like to point something out. Okay, it says like existing road, and here it is, it's traced up.
The corner.
This is our property. And here it is at the northern end. That's just one example.
Just for the record, will you say your
What?
full address?
440 Howland Farm Road.
Thank you.
I don't think there was any dispute on where it stopped. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I do correct you if you don't mind, because we were told that it does stop at our house. But our house is located over here.
Your house is right in.
Let me see. Well, our house is in here, inside this parcel.
Mm-hmm.
This is where, this is the boundary.
This is your boundary
Yes,
line.
the northern boundary.
Yep, and your house is
In the parcel, like
yeah,
around right here.
somewhere's here close to the edge
Yeah,
of the road.
so it does
Mhm.
extend. I don't know how to show you those other images. I could do it now.
No, that's fine. If you want to pull them up, you can do
Okay,
that.
yeah, I would.
I think the boundary that we were concerned with was from the center of the road,
Right.
not with the end.
Oh.
Right.
But I'm okay cutting them two branches, utilizing our crews that we use.
Yeah, we've got budget in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2,500 for ash trees.
Correct.
So we could
We
something
can,
there.
we can cut those two branches down, which I'm okay
Show
with
it to
doing
Mark
that.
here.
But
You can pass it along.
Yeah, I just don't wanna get.
Yeah.
I've got a tree.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It's a huge old
Yeah,
ash.
I've seen
And
it.
it's a
I've seen
shame,
it.
you know, because.
It's right at the hook. It's right at
Right at that hook. Yep.
It's like,
Dennis, did you have?
yeah, while she's bringing that up, have you heard from Green Mountain Power about putting that
Yes,
pole down by the
yes.
cemetery? Did they give you a date or anything, or?
I didn't get a date. I got to sign the sheet.
Okay.
But I did talk to them. So
I knew it was gonna be,
yeah,
because they're good about taking down trees.
yes.
And there's a couple more that wouldn't hurt.
Well, as long as they'll take them down if it's going to
Definitely on
present a hazard to their line. If it doesn't present a hazard to their line,
No,
they
no,
won't
but,
take it down.
I'm hoping that it does.
So
we
I
can
am
get a couple
supposed
more.
to actually meet Karen and the engineer. So on a Friday here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So- So-
may I just swing around here and show?
Yeah, she was done like 2000.
You want to just
Thanks.
sneak through and you can put it
Over there?
right here. That way, Jeff and Diana
Yeah.
can see it as well.
Sure. Okay, this is, okay, Howland Farm Road,
Mm-hmm.
and, this actually, and you could see from, the map, that this is like where our northern side of the property goes, up to here. See, right here. This is the northern border boundary, and this is the southern, and this is the road, and that's where it ends. You could see the tracing of our property on the map, because that's why I couldn't print it out. It would just, those lines would not show.
Okay.
Wouldn't the town road map show, Jeff, if you brought up the town road map, wouldn't that show where it ended?
There's conflicting information no matter where you
When you get to
And-
when you get to the end of a lot of roads, it gets.
We're not worried about where the road ends. We were concerned about from the center line to the
To the
tree, yes, the road can,
That's the right of way, is it not? You're talking about?
Yeah, like from center line.
it's from the center line over for the property
Well,
line.
that I
So-
thought that was like 49, within 49 feet. It's well within 49 feet.
No, I don't think it's 49 feet from a dirt road.
It's,
What's the right of way?
25.
25
It's-
feet.
It's well within that.
So
We measured it, it's well.
we
within-
just,
You could come up and measure it again.
so we just had a discussion, so we're
Yeah.
gonna
Great, I know.
kind of present it to you folks and we'll see
Okay,
where we wanna go with it.
alright.
'Cause
Here is
we are proposing
yeah,
to cut those 2 branches,
alright.
but we've gotta put an RFM together and send them out to our 2 contractors, which do our tree work. And I know last time we had brought that up, you kind of refused our contractor because we use GM Tech,
I did?
and we use
Josh,
Josh Bickford as well. So those are the 2 contractors that we utilize.
And they came to me,
No, we put the proposal out and you guys did not want those.
2 limbs?
No, 2 folks that we use for cutting.
I
So-
swear, I do not remember.
So that's will be our proposal. We'll cut those 2 branches down.
They are huge branches and
Yep,
that would help.
and
That's why I wanted the 2 limbs.
we'll put an RFM out to have those 2 people look at the tree and give us a quote on cutting those branches.
That's one of the
Okay,
things
I
wanted.
really don't recall anyone
Mhm.
There
approaching
is
us
about a
at
quote.
all about anything.
Okay.
Maybe you could ask Leslie about that, because,
Well, we'll try
We'll
and
just, we'll put together a
We'll
little,
put it
ask for
together.
some quotes and.
okay, alright,
Okay.
so then I don't
Nope.
need to show you
Nope.
anymore?
Nope.
Okay, then it's
We'll,
solved.
we'll be done.
Thank
We'll
you
cut
very
those 2 big
much.
branches and
Thank
go
you
from
very
there.
much.
Okay.
you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Okay, you're all set.
One more by Caitlin.
Okay, any other citizens' concerns, comments? Okay, moving on to announcements. Carol has volunteered to work continuously. Town office will be closed for President's Day. Dog license registration deadline
He never came.
April 1st, and Carol has an announcement she wants to have as well.
Yes, we're gonna be doing a dog and cat rabies clinic on Saturday, March 22nd, from 9 a.m. until noon.
How much does it cost?
$25 per rabies shot, the same as last year.
Got it. Which is a lot less than if you go to the vet.
Yes, it
Is it
is.
25?
When is it?
25.
When is it?
March 22nd, it's a Saturday,
And what time?
from 9 in the morning until noon.
Write it down.
Anything else, Carol?
Nope, that's it.
So those are the 3 announcements. I'll review them again. Is town office is closed for President's Day. Dog license registration deadline April 1st. And the rabies clinic. Line 10, review and sign the orders. I don't believe we need an executive session. So meeting is adjourned, and thank you everybody for coming out, and be safe tomorrow and over the weekend with the storms coming.